Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have yet another diamond in the rough for you guys today. He is a stud wide receiver. His name is Cole Burgess. He is out of Cortland. Nice to have you, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
So I do believe that, dude, if people don't know you yet, they are sleeping. They have absolutely no clue what's going on in this draft because you are one of these guys whose name it just continues to rise and rise and rise on draft boards. Obviously, won a national championship this past season with your team, which is awesome at the Division III level. And maybe people are sleeping on you because of that, dude. I don't know, but why don't you go ahead and get us started and tell us where you're from, and let's just start walking through your journey.
Yeah, I'm from a small town in upstate New York called Greenwich. I graduated with less than 70 people, so that kind of tells you a little bit about the school I went to. I was playing small classification of football and just baseball and all the sports I played throughout high school. Loved sports my whole life. Grew up, started playing baseball, little league, and then I actually started playing football. I think I was 8 or 9. And a funny story about that is, most people start playing football, their movies that they watch are like I don't know, Longest Yard or Gridiron Gang or like just movies like that. The movie I watched the movie The Game Plan with The Rock. And that's a Disney movie. And I don't know, I watched that and I remember running around the house after that, like, oh, I'm playing football next year. And after that, it kind of just all spiraled into what it is now. But yeah, and then I started playing football around tackle football age 8 or 9. And then, yeah, it kept on going. Played varsity football my freshman year. And I continued playing baseball and basketball throughout these years. And then, yeah, I got to Cortland, and yeah, here we are.
And that's where greatness happens.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. So, Cole, again, just wanted to kind of recap some of what you had mentioned. Greenwich, New York. For people that don't know, it's Greenwich, not Greenwich, like I wanted to say there at the beginning. Like you said, a very, very small town, small high school where you're from. And as I was looking up some of your information, it seems like you also did some other sports, some baseball. Also, some track and field. You did that as a senior. And according to some of the notes that I saw, you actually broke an indoor track record in the 300 meter, which is kind of fun. So, talk about you as a high school athlete, real quick.
Yeah, so I was always playing sports, it started with football, baseball, and basketball, but after my sophomore year, I stopped playing basketball to start focusing. I wanted to just focus on football. And so my junior year, I didn't play basketball. And then my senior year, I ran indoor track instead of doing nothing in the winter because I thought it would help me out. And I was never really like bought into the indoor track life. It just wasn't really my kind of thing, but I ended up doing pretty well in like the sprints and the 300. And I mean, I broke the 300 record just off the couch. You know what I mean? I didn't really train for it or anything, but actually, Jaden White, kid from my school, just broke that. So no record does not stand anymore.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that you had it for as long as you did. It's okay. So yeah, the number you had 37 34 in the 300 meter. There's a part of me that feels like maybe if you had spent a little bit more time in track, that uh, dude, who knows? Who knows how that would have helped you out? I mean, you're already pretty fast, so definitely didn't need that much. Again, like you said, off the couch, running
Yeah.
that. And dude, I'll be honest with you, I never liked indoor track because the track is much smaller and you're running around that like 200-meter thing like a little bit more, which to me, like I was a long distance guy, dude. I hated it. I hated being indoors. But anyways, let's continue on with your journey. You had also done some baseball in your days as well. And as I started to look up your name, the one thing that showed up is that you also played there at Cortland. So talk about that a little bit. I mean, obviously the recruiting happens, you come into Cortland and you're a dual sport athlete.
Right. So I actually did not get recruited from for Cortland for football. It started out baseball, and then I told the baseball coach I wanted to play football too. So he reached out to the football program and said, "Hey, I got a guy that I think can help your team." And then they could watch my film now. They knew who I was, and from there they're like, "Yeah, we'll take him." And my freshman year, I played football in the fall and I did baseball in the spring. But after that, I didn't really like how that went, just playing two sports and like splitting it up. I don't know. I just didn't really like how that rolled, so I decided to just focus on football and stop playing baseball. And I don't know if my shoulders could handle any more baseball, anyways. My rotator cuffs were killing me, so I think I made the right decision.
So what did you do as a baseball player? Like, were you a outfielder, a pitcher, or what was your position?
Yeah, I played outfield. I love just running around, track and fly balls, diving around and making plays. And if you watch my film, you could see like some of the plays I made. You could be like, oh yeah, he definitely played a little bit of outfield.
All right, definitely makes sense. So growing up in Greenwich, New York, I mean, who were you a big fan of, man? I mean, were you a Yankee fan? I mean, I think a lot of kids were, but I mean, what was your fandom back in the day?
Really, I just a Jets fan. I was always a Jets fan throughout my whole life. I mean, I said I was a Mets fan. I never really followed much in baseball or basketball. It was really just football for me growing up. And yeah, I was a Jets from a young age. So not a lot of fun times watching the Jets, but that was my team growing up.
Hey, I definitely appreciate your honesty and obviously sticking with the same team through thick and thin because hey, I feel your pain. I'll just say
Yeah.
that much. As you
I
can
can't
tell
I
from the
can't say
past.
I'm 100% loyal now though because I have been fans of other teams lately, like the Chiefs and the Bengals. I've been rooting for quite a bit, but in the center of my heart, it's still the Jets.
Hey, that I get it. But of course, as you progress through all this, you'll end up being a fan of whoever takes you. I understand that too. So growing up as a kid, I mean, was there maybe a guy at your position that you tried to maybe model your game after, or what?
No, when I started playing football, I was mainly just a running back, and then I kind of switched when I was younger, freshman, sophomore. They had me at receiver. Um, then my junior year, I made the switch to quarterback, and I was just basically like run right, run left. There wasn't much passing involved at all. So my junior and senior year, I was mainly quarterback. So I didn't really have anybody I looked up to in in terms of just football. Now I say I look up to like Jamar Chase, Odell. Like now I have players that I like try to model my game around. But when I was younger, I never really had a guy that I was a super fan of.
I don't know, dude. I think you grew up in the wrong era because, like, maybe 20, 30 years ago, you might have been a Cordell Stewart fan because obviously you're doing a little bit of everything as like a quarterback, wide receiver, whatever. But hey, you obviously are a wide receiver. So let's get to talking more about Cortland and your days there. So you end up going to Cortland. As you said, you were recruited as a baseball player, but ultimately found your way on the football field. But just kind of overall, for people that may not be as familiar with Cortland, talk about the university as a whole and what makes it special for you.
Yeah, Cortland's in a small town, just like where I grew up. Like if there was no college in the town of Cortland, like Cortland would be a pretty. It's not the highly populated or there's not a lot of money going in and not a lot of businesses. But the college is what makes Cortland Cortland. So I'll say that. Campus, it's a great campus. Not a huge college, but a nice community college. Not a community college, but there's a sense of community in the college.
Sure.
And yeah, just one thing I loved about it was just the football program is really what kind of like got me there and just seeing like the brotherhood and just making all those connections with the guys and always having friends, you know what I mean? Like being on the football team that gave me a bunch of relationships off the bat that not many people going to college have. They have to go out and try to make friends, but football team just gave me like a shortcut in that process.
Sure. I mean, you're part of a close knit, group of people, close knit, college as well. I mean, that's just kind of what you're used to. And dude, obviously this past season, the best that it could be for you guys. Ending up, winning a national championship, and you yourself, ton of great athlete accolades. A all conference guy, all American guy. Um, just talk through a little bit of this past season, man, and what it took for you guys to get that national championship.
Yeah, this season, the one thing that I can say is just we had a lot of faith, and I've never experienced faith in that. Just I've never experienced that type of faith before. Like we all believed what we had and what we could do from the start of the season, and just seeing like going through all the adversity throughout the season, we just never blinked really. We just knew what we had. We had the faith in our brothers, the guys that were to the right and our left, and we knew what we could do. And it's cool to look back and see that we did exactly what we knew we could do. You know, we accomplished the ultimate goal, and yeah, we left no stone unturned. And I mean, I walked out of there, the seniors, we got to walk out of there on top. There's not many college athletes that can say they won their last game.
Hey, again, nice way to go out. But dude, that offense that you guys were able to, have really excellent. Uh, obviously opposite you is a great wide receiver in his own right, and JJ. And then of course your guys' quarterback. I mean, really did an excellent job. So talk about that offense, man, and how you kind of fit into it.
Yeah, I feel like we all fit in our own way. We had ballers everywhere, you know, like running back, quarterback, receivers, our offensive line, our tight ends. I mean, and Coach Fitz, I think he's the greatest coach in D3. You know what I mean? He called the perfect plays. He was he was basically on the field with us. But yeah, I mean, the way I fit in was I just added an extra spark to the team. You know, having JJ on the other side of me, it's hard for defenses to stop both of us, and not to mention we have a All-American running back in the backfield, All-American quarterback. Um, I mean, our running back, he he could take it to the house anytime too. So it's just hard to stop on all three levels. You know, JJ and me can go deep. We can take it underneath and take it in and run 60 yards. It just doesn't matter. And then we got a running back in the backfield who can also shimmy his way in the end zone. And we got slot receivers too. I mean, we had a lot of injuries in the wide receiver room this year, and we had a bunch of guys step up, Joe Idevio, Andrew Tarpey, and it's just a testament to the depth and the coaching and just the hard work we all put in the spring, in the summer leading up to the season.
And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your guys' quarterback is coming back for another year, right? I mean, he was just a junior.
Yeah, he's
So
coming back.
so what's that offense going to be like with their main receivers moving on?
I don't. There's gonna be a lot less one play touchdown drives, that's for sure. It's gonna be. I don't know. I'm not there right now. What I think is gonna be a lot more methodical drives down the field. Um, Maybe there'll be some guys that can step up on the outside and break off big plays, but it's definitely going to be more methodical, you know, dinking and dunking, reading the defense and making the right plays and not turning the ball over and just having long drives down the field. Our defense is going to be the backbone of the team. It's going to be a little bit different than it was last year because last year the offense was the catalyst for our success. Not saying the defense wasn't. The defense stepped up when they had to, but our offense was definitely the strong point. And I think this year is going to be more of the defense.
Well, cool. I mean, definitely something to look forward to next year. And who knows, man? There's always going to be somebody who's going to, step up and take that role that obviously has been left behind. When you get like a number one stud like yourself walking away, not walking away, but moving on. Moving on to the pros. So let's talk about you as a wide receiver. Obviously, stud wide receiver. We've talked about all the accolades, but when you look at yourself as a wide receiver and a prospect going into the NFL draft, what do you feel separates you from all these other guys out there?
I feel like I got great playmaking ability. I think I have probably one of the biggest catch radiuses and the best hands in the draft. I don't think there's a ball that's thrown at me that I can't get to. I always find a way to get there, even if there's a guy in my way. I always get my hands on the ball somehow, and usually when the ball hits my hands, it's going to be a catch. Um, and yeah, just on top of my work ethic and all my intangibles that I have, it's just I'd be a good player for a team to pick up.
Gotcha. So again, just kind of furthering that train of thought, favorite route that you love to run for your quarterback?
Favorite route, probably a post. I like to just have him throw that thing up and let me go get it like I'm playing baseball.
Hey, it works. And of course, like you said, I mean, having good hands and a good catch radius, you're going to come down with it. So, so that works. So go ahead and walk me through one of those moments. Doesn't have to be a post route, but walk me through your, I don't know, maybe biggest highlight, favorite moment overall, because I know you have several of them, but give me at least one specific instance that's going to stick with you for a while.
I said the go-ahead touchdown in the national championship. It was just a simple bubble RPO play. Zach had the option to either hand it off, run with it, or throw me the ball. And he saw that the safety was kind of behind me when I was coming in motion, so he dumped it off to me, and it was 3rd and 2, so we only needed to get 2 yards, but I got around the edge, and to this day, I'm not sure how I stayed in bounds because you could see if you watch it back, like I get in the end zone and I didn't celebrate at all because in my head I thought I stepped out, but it turns out that I tiger up the sideline just enough, and yeah, that'll be something that sticks with me forever.
I'll certainly appreciate the humility because I mean, again, if you were that close, I mean, it would have really sucked to celebrate early, you know.
Yeah, and it
Um,
definitely does not happen without JJ Lapp and Joe Adivio having two great blocks on the outside. If you watch it back, they are doing their job to the fullest extent, and nobody can even get close to me because of them blocking.
well, hey, man, you got to give credit where credit's due. So yeah, definitely some guys, getting their job done. So
Exactly.
cool. So uh, again, you finished out your career fairly well. Over 3,000 yards receiving, 35 touchdowns, all of these awards, All American, All Conference, yada yada yada. Out of everything that you've accomplished, man, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of the way that I've grown as a player and as a person. I don't know if you know this or not, but during that COVID year when the season was canceled, me and my housemates off campus, we had a party, a Halloween party, and that was during the time when you couldn't have this amount of people together. So I got in trouble with the school and they kicked me out of off campus for 2 semesters. So not only did I miss the COVID year, I missed the season after that. So just going through that and making it out of that to the point where I am now is something I'm extremely proud of. During that time, I always was dreaming about what I was going to do when I got back and what we were going to do as a team and like win a national championship. And in my mind, I don't know if it was possible, but those are just the thoughts that were going in my head. And to see it play out the way that I thought of it 3 years ago and when things weren't going my way is cool to see.
Well, hey, I mean, I appreciate you owning up to a mistake there, but obviously you exude a sense of maturity, which is good. So I'm not necessarily worried about a guy who, I have to worry about, henceforth, of course, but a very steady, go-to guy that I could utilize in a lot of different facets. One of the things that I know that you have done is you've actually also been a really good special teams player in your early days, man. Actually, running back a few kick returns for touchdowns, which is kind of nice. So, um, I know you maybe don't take as many as you used to, but I know as you progress to the pros, that might be where you find your niche, man. So, talk to me about what it means to, I guess, have that moment and be that kick returner.
Yeah, well, that's how I made my first name. That's how I got my name known when I was a freshman, was making plays on a kick return. And I'll never forget. This is another moment that I'll never forget. That's up there with the national championship touchdown. Was freshman year, week 2. It was a tight game, and I ended up taking a kick to the house, and that was just a special moment because I mean, I don't, you don't really see freshmen scoring too many touchdowns, or at least I never have. So that moment was special. My whole family was there, and yeah, they weren't expecting me to score a touchdown. I know that for sure. But that was cool. But yeah, that's how I got my name known. I think I was all reaching kick return my freshman year and returned 2 kicks that year. And then my sophomore year, I got another one in a big game. So yeah, that was what kind of catapulted my career as a in my college career.
Yeah, and maybe that's where you're gonna, first get onto a roster somewhere. Um, or maybe not. Maybe they'll just put you at as like a starting wide receiver. Who knows what's gonna happen? But the good thing is that you add that level of an athlete, with that level of experience, a guy who can be a kick returner, a guy who can work in the slot, work out wide. So definitely a lot going for you as a prospect. Cole, it's been great kind of breaking down like all the good stuff and everything that you've accomplished in your career. I do want to take a brief moment to learn who this guy is under the helmet. Talk about anything that you want, your hobbies, other interests, Anything else that you want to share about yourself? Take a couple minutes to share. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm a pretty laid back guy. I feel I like to bowl. Me and my cousin, we've been bowling quite a bit lately. Me and a couple of my friends, we bowl a lot. I'm trying to get better at that. Golf's another thing I'm trying to get better at. I'm pretty bad. I'm usually good at some sports when I start, but those are two that it's taking me some time to get used to. So I like the challenge for sure. Um, yeah, no, I'm a pretty big homebody as well. I'm not really into going out and the party scene. I'll definitely prefer staying in, watching a movie and relaxing for the night. Uh,
I think that comes from like being an upstate New York kind of guy. Why in the world would you want to go out into the bitter cold? I don't know. I mean, are you into like skiing or any like winter sports or anything?
I used to be when I was younger, but no, I grew out of that. I'm not a huge fan of the cold either, and it's just finally starting to get warm in New York, so I'm appreciating that. I was just today, I in between my training sessions, I was just outside at the park, just reading a nice book and just enjoying the day, enjoying the nice weather.
Okay, well, since you said it, I'm going to piggyback on it. What books are you reading? If you're reading, is that like a textbook or is it for fun or what's going on, man?
I'm a big self-help book kind of guy, so right now I'm reading this book. Actually, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And
Okay.
basically, this book's about I'm trying to get to the next level. It's gonna take me. I gotta develop better habits. I already have some good habits, but I need to develop better habits, professional habits, and I need to also get rid of some habits that are possibly detrimental to what I'm trying to do. So this book right here has been helping me out, giving me cool ways to build habits and break habits.
Okay, well, definitely great to, I guess learn and build that, professional mentality there for sure. Let me ask you a couple quick questions again, just for fun. You said that you're kind of a homebody and watch TV and stuff. So, what's a good show that you recommend that I binge watch?
Well, I'll give you two. So I just finished watching Prison Break. Well, I didn't finish it. I watched the first, I think, two seasons, and I heard that after that it kind of gets like wishy-washy, so I stopped. That was a really good one. And I'm watching The Boys now. I don't know if you heard of that. It's a superhero movie, like
Yeah,
superhero real
I've
life,
seen it.
and that's
So,
pretty cool.
yeah, it's got its, yeah, well, I'll just leave it at that. It's adult, just for people who want to know. Anyways, yeah, obviously some good shows. And yeah, sometimes they go south. So we've all, I guess, watched some of them if we have televisions.
I
So
will say one thing that's happened is after I finished the show Prison Break, not every like I'd say a few nights out of the week since stopped watching that, I'll have a dream that I'm escaping like the police trying to get me, like I'm escaping prison, and I don't do anything, but it's just because I watched that and I was binge watching that every day, so it's just like a part of me now that show.
hey, that's fine. Just to kind of help you out so that we can put that sort of I guess visual behind us. Bro, you're gonna have an opportunity to be in the league, and you'll have an opportunity to maybe perhaps use football as a platform for something else. And I don't know if you've thought about that, like what you might be using that for, whether it's a you know special cause or your local community or anything. But have you looked into any charities or stuff like as you move forward in your career?
Not too much. I have a few ideas. I'm not sure like what the names of them are, but like I was thinking about maybe having like a toy drive. I work at the YMCA right now, like maybe having like a toy drive for like some kids during around Christmas time to get some presents. I think that'd be pretty cool. Also, something to do with like animals in need. I've always like watched those commercials and seen those animals that are in pretty bad condition, so I can definitely see myself helping out a cause like that.
Cool. You have any pets?
I have two. I have two dogs. I love them.
Nice, nice. Well, Cole, it's nice kind of chit-chatting about all this stuff, but let's you know, kind of wrap things up. Obviously, we're talking to each other under the platform of you trying to get drafted, trying to make it to the NFL. And I know that there are several scouts out there that are wondering about you that might end up giving you a call at some point during the draft. So, as we close up, I kind of want to give you the, final word in saying why people need to draft you, sign you, and make you part of their franchise. So, Go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
Yeah, I'd say having a guy like me in your building in your program, you'll see hard work. You'll see somebody that's faced adversity and knows how to handle it, and a positive attitude. I like to think of myself as the positive person and always see the positive, even a bad situation. I think you can always find a good in everything. And you're gonna get a guy that's gonna make plays, and the guy that's gonna make plays is wherever you put him, whether that's on the offensive side of the ball, whether that's on kick return, punt return. I'll block a punt for you. I'll go down and make a play. It doesn't matter. And just know that even if say it doesn't work out playing football, I'm gonna keep working to the point where it does work out. There's just no way around that. That's just my mentality. That's just how I'm wired.
Well, Cole, I definitely feel like you do have some, professional football days ahead of you. Just kind of looking back, I mean, you had a really awesome pro day. I mean, you were at the Buffalo's pro day and Syracuse's pro day. I know we didn't talk about that, but I do want to mention it before we, end up. 4.45 40, 41 and a half inch vertical, 11.5 broad jump, 21 bench reps. At Syracuse, you had a 6.723 cone. I mean, what more can you ask? I mean, these are D1 numbers from a D3 guy who knows what it means to be successful. So, yeah, man, I mean, I think that you could definitely get drafted, and whoever gets you, hey, they're getting a great player. So, Cole, want to wish you all the best with what's going on, and you take care, okay?
Appreciate it, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on.
Gotcha. No problem, man. Once again, we got Cole Burgess. He's a wide receiver from Cortland. Definitely go check him out. Obviously, everybody can check out the championship tape. It's on YouTube. So you take care, okay?
Thank you.